It is Mindful Monday, sponsored by River City OCD. Today we are talking all about treatment options for OCD, and we are with Jessica Dowell. Now, there's so many options when it comes to therapy, and a lot of people, when they think of that word, they think just regular talk therapy. But what really makes OCD treatment different than traditional talk therapy?
Well, there's a couple of things. First of all, ritual prevention therapy or exposure and ritual prevention therapy involves a lot more than just talking. Different therapists approach it in different ways. Everybody kind of brings their own style to it. But at least for ERP, the idea is that you sit with them, you coach them through the experience in session, and then that way they can apply what they learned, or at least go through it the one time or several times in some cases with someone, and then they're applying those skills at home. So you have the exposure homework in between as well.
Which is so important to take exactly what you learned here in the office outside. I mean, it works just like, physical therapy. You need to do your stuff at home in order for you to get better. And what does it mean that the treatment is practice-based rather than purely discussion-based?
So, I mean, a lot of times when folks go through the therapy process, will be, third, fourth therapist, and they've already done that, and that's not been helpful to them. As a matter of fact, it can, in some cases, make some of the rumination behaviors a lot worse because you are conceptualizing, you are just kind of talking about doing the thing. Talking about doing something really scary and actually going through the experience are two separate things. So whenever we're talking about practice-based interventions or anything like that, you are having to actually do the things and approach what's making you anxious. That process is, of course, subjective, and the aspects about someone's OCD, even if they share a common theme with another person who also has OCD, looks entirely different.
So it's very individualized, and so that's why it's so important to get that help when you need it. And our brain, our body, it wants to protect us. It doesn't want to hurt us by any means. So how do you help someone really change their relationship with their thoughts instead of trying to completely eliminate them?
So the part of the first thing that we do is establish that doesn't actually work and is actually not possible. So coming to the acceptance that you are going to have these thoughts regardless. And I do this psychoeducation even with loved ones whenever folks bring in a parent or a spouse or partner to get psychoeducation. We all have intrusive thoughts of some kind. But the difference is, for someone with OCD, it becomes you're in full fight or flight in your actual experience of the full-blown anxiety, kind of like you're being in a life and death situation. So the idea is that you accept that these thoughts are going to be there, and so you start to habituate to the thoughts. Some folks will also bring humor or diffuse from it, which is another strategy that we add on to the ERP with ACT. But you learn how to navigate having them, because the fear of having the thoughts kind of feeds into the cycle in and of itself.
And I know that it's very individualized, like you mentioned, that two people could have the same thoughts, but they need to be treated completely differently. But it is a very collaborative approach. But how does group therapy kind of help them too?
Group therapy can establish that camaraderie of not only, because it's a lot of the things with OCD that people experience. Of course, we think of it in stereotypical terms, or a lot of people think of it in stereotypical behaviors like contamination, hand washing, or ordering, arranging. There's a vast amount of ways that this can manifest even within those two themes, but there's also harm, sexual orientation, OCD, POCD for pedophilia OCD. These are a lot of things that people don't necessarily talk about or feel super open to talking about. There's a lot of shame involved. They don't typically share with the rest of the world that they have OCD or what exactly their thoughts are. So being in an environment with not only people who are experiencing something similar, maybe not exactly the same thing, but something similar, but also going through the treatment, because this treatment is a hard treatment to go through, can help kind of push them forward. Hearing other people's experiences as well makes them not feel alone.
Feeling seen is certainly so important. So thank you so much for having us out today.
Thank you.
All right, to learn more, just head over to their website, rivercityocd.com.